Hello and welcome back to Chapter 4 of Undermile. How's everyone doing out there? Hello Tertius, hello Zombie, hello Wolf, hello everybody who is already performing here.
Hello, Internet Land.
And Sidonis. Wonderful, wonderful. How does everything sound? I'm going to let these cool cats do some chin wagging so you can hear their voices.
Hey, everybody. Zach, did I immediately start by talking over you?
No, you started by talking. No, nothing so crass as that. You started by talking over Angelo.
Yeah. Take it away,
No,
Angelo.
that's
Come
fine.
on. Wag
no.
that chin. I want to see it.
No, you go.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Hi, everybody.
How's
How's it going? Good to see everybody again. I'm glad you're all here.
I'm just activating Zach's giblets by talking over people on purpose.
My jimmies are thoroughly rustled.
This is verbal shitposting.
And I'm sure my volume is also perfectly adequate. Hi, everyone in chat.
Hopefully I sound louder. I'm going to go ahead and do voice stuff.
This is me doing Alizar. Make sure I don't sound like absolute bullshit.
Okay, can you try again? But this time I'm going to try and talk over you.
It's not planned for that.
Oh, we got to see if the audio is good.
Hey, chat. Hey, chat. What should Zach say in Elazar's voice?
Oh, yes.
I don't feel like there's anything particularly exciting about this voice, but I'll give it a whirl.
Well, I'm
Or
glad
Or a
everyone
line that
thinks it
we can
sounds
all
better.
say in our voices.
I just want you to sing in the Elazar voice.
See, I knew it would come up.
Yep. We were talking about using butt cum as a safe word, but now here we are.
Not safe in the sexual department. Never use butt cum as your safe word in sex.
It's
You'll
just
never-
not
Yeah.
safe.
You'll never be able to share your joy for your butt coming.
Okay. I think I can go
That should-
first.
I'm gonna booty blast.
Oh, God. I'm going to butt cum.
Do we have to do this? I feel like we've got
No.
a show to do.
I just did it.
Jam Jam's rolling in her little mouse grave.
Oh, God. Yes, I think I'm going to butt gum.
I have prolapsed. in ecstasy.
Oh, I've lost my walnut.
No.
Yeah.
Angelo, do you want to go next?
The ferret's out of the
Oh,
tube.
God, I'm going to butt come.
Oh, I believe now is the opportune time for me to butt come.
Oh no, I have to pick one of the characters. Well, Barnalby's on the screen, so... Young Valerius, I'm going to butt come. Okay, let's...
Anybody looking for a ringtone?
Let's update ourselves on the fundraiser.
Yes.
And I'm
that
going to
will
make sure
me
you're
butt
not
cum.
frozen. I just have to move it to this screen real quick, so pardon the temporary freezeroo.
Sidonis, of course we would call your bluff. You're a friggin' commissioner level supporter right now. Get
Right.
ready for it.
Since the last stream, there has been a donation of $300 from, from Hediger the Ediger.
No shit.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's incredibly nice. This just goes testament to the fact that Sam is just the best person ever.
A real
After
delight.
he edited the episode and listened to it and heard about the fundraiser, he got really excited. So Sam has our back
That's
on this one.
incredible.
And that puts us at $1,310, which is fantastic. Thank you all
Holy
so
shit.
much. To give you a quick little breakdown on what this is, we are, this is just a fun game that I wanted to run for my friends because it's been on my mind. But doing the stream as a charity, I thought was like just a perfect way to make it really like rewarding and, I don't know, motivate me more because I like being able to help if possible. So this is for Hazel's House Rescue, which is local to us in the Pacific Northwest. They are a non-profit, no income for the people who work there, charity to help mostly cats and dogs, but other animals as well. They rescue them from high-kill states. They help with food programs for families that can't afford to feed their pets. They spay and neuter. They help with newborns. They have incubators and all the good stuff for prematurely born baby animals. This is Pickles. I got her from
Yes.
Hazel's house, and she changed my life. And if other people can get their own pickles and be happy with the kitty, then that's good. Right, Pickles? You want to say anything? Yeah.
Oh.
We stand Pickles. But yeah, that is where we're at. We are at chapter 4 now, so this is the planned finale question mark. And if everyone's ready, I think we can just get started.
I'm so ready.
The four of you stand draped in fog in a forest clearing, a world between worlds, hidden by the magic of the Awoken, the domain of the Forest Witch. A cruel fire burns, heating the contents of a helm pot. A patchwork hut covered in sharp, spiky bones stands in the center, larger than life. And near the fire, in a red wagon filled with furs, is the wailing, sorrowful baby of the Crofters. The flavor of the air tickles your tongue like acid. The swirling fog moves like a great beast on the prowl. This place radiates cruel magic, the kind that sickens the Earth Mother, the kind that corrupts the farmland.
I'm glad you're here, Bosco. I don't think that we would be able to take the tiny crofter home without you. What the hell is happening here?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
And as a quick aside, if anyone forgot, you did get to take a short rest between this and the last episode. So if you have any top-offs to do, you're very welcome to do so.
I'm good. Should I fly about and see what awaits us, or should I stay close?
It is
Something in
probably
here
best.
isn't right. Hey, buddy.
It is probably best I not approach the creature. I do not know if what is wrong with me might affect a crofter, though I suspect it was, in fact. Never mind.
I didn't realize that there were crofters as small as this.
I've seen illustrations of them before on the great pages that have been left behind, but never one in person. I think I'm going to try to get a lay of things. I'll stick to the trees.
Right on. Valerius, let's see a stealth check. And
God.
since Sidonis brought it up, it's great to remind everyone that you all have a point of inspiration, and you
Oh,
all
heck yes.
have a black strawberry that was given to you by an agent of the Earth Queen, a spider.
Also, thank you very much. I was very excited about the makeup and everything today.
Yes.
What does the strawberry do again?
You know it basically functions like a healing potion. The thing you don't know is how much it heals. No one has tried one yet.
So, Law, I've got some good news and some bad news. Which one would you like first?
Boy, dealer's choice. What you got for me?
I'll make it easy. The good news is I made a stealth check, and the bad news is that it's a 6, a whole whopping 6.
The good news is that you successfully rolled the die and added your bonus
Yes.
to it.
I didn't say the bar was very high.
Cool. So you swoop, and something about the thick fog in this clearing, it just makes the air seem heavier the higher up you go. And getting tired quickly, you land on a low branch. And you can see from above this tiny baby, maybe a week old, wrapped in furs, crying, nose caked in tiny dried boogers, eyes tired and red, miserable. And the wailing fills this clearing with a kind of unearthly, haunting terror.
We cannot allow this to go on any longer. Bosco, do you have the strength to pull this wagon?
What is the size comparison of this wagon to me?
You would be like a person pulling a fairly medium-sized cart, which you could do. It'd just be kind of slow going. You could tote it. It has wheels. Yeah.
Perhaps I can
Well,
help you.
If it was just the weight, it wouldn't matter, but the crofters have the tools and these wheels. They should do well.
At that, a voice fills the clearing.
So you have come for the child, then? You foolish little creatures. Do you think the crofters will protect you forever? They're a shadow of their former selves.
And a long nailed claw pulls the draped door to the side of the hut. And a twisted mound of fabric and glistening spines shambles out slowly. A large creature, born of the forest and protected by nature. Quilbara the Pin Witch emerges, an aging porcupine draped in tattered clothing, a flannel crofter's shirt cut, stitched, and pierced into hanging robes, jewelry and pouches of the crofter's own make, Numina head to toe. A large pair of cat's eye glasses balance on her nose, reflecting the size of her eyes. Her walking stick, a rusted iron fire poker. As she moves, the trees still themselves in reverence, and the fog tiptoes back, frozen in fear. Load this real quick.
I'm so excited for this picture.
It's a little dark, but that's just how she be.
Shit is
Oh,
punk
wow.
rock as fuck.
I love her and immediately want to accept everything she wants to do here. Oh no.
She looks to the baby and to the group of the four of you.
The crofters' tools grow more advanced, making them lazier. Divinity traded for comfort. Their family grows smaller. They weaken with each passing day.
She takes out a pack of strange crofters' objects, rolled up dried leaves in paper, and puts one in her mouth and lights it with the tip of her iron poker, as plumes of smoke exhale out of her nose.
The time for the Awoken to take control of the farmland is upon us. And this child, raised by my own hands, will bridge the gap to that future. My little angel. My champion who will lead the farm in the house of their father and do as I bid. We must climb that ladder ourselves to reach the top. The future is uncertain. What kind of fool doesn't plan for the worst?
To what benefit exactly would you use this creature? You say take the farm. In what way do we need to?
Too long have you awoken, remained hidden from the crofters, hiding in shadows, dying at their hands at a moment's emotional whim. If the crofter that leads the farm was raised by us, they would know of us and we could work in more harmony and not be as afraid of their wrath.
Oh, and I'm sure that your rule would be benevolent, yes? Nothing would be killed needlessly, and no blood would be shed on account of your motivations, I trust.
There are things as old as the Earth Queen, and they have not been at the farm for a long time, and they wish to return.
What you speak is heresy.
You will not be able to take this child from this place. This is my domain, and as long as I draw breath, I control the magic within these fogs.
And as she exhales the smoke, it marries with the fog and seems to swirl around you.
I am sorry, Quilbara, but that is not the way of the farm. And in the corridors we know well the price of the crofter's wrath, but we also know that it is ours to protect them and for them to protect us. This is a delicate balance that we exist in, and you aim to throw it into chaos. I don't know if I can accept that.
All for the vague promise that some creature that you wean will somehow benefit us instead of itself, or that you will somehow be able to control its power. I think not.
Your selfish and misguided actions endanger all of Undermile, endanger the crofters.
A forest fire is necessary to level the yield and wield in order for new life to grow. If I must light that spark, so be it. And as she says that, the tip of her iron poker begins to glow red hot. Let's roll initiative, because she's tired of listening.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Something interesting has happened.
Something either very good or very bad.
In classic Elazar fashion, I have rolled Donkus, but the greatest of Donkus, that's a 1.
Hey. Well, I'm
Wrong
not going to move
Donkus.
your name on the list right now because it seems to be a little wrong. Oh, I need a stat block for Quilbara. It's right here, though. Don't worry, I'm ready. I'm totally prepared. Come to me. All right. So what did you get, Max?
Ooh, I got a 10.
Bosco?
Whopping 10.
I wasted my nat 20.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And
That's
Tiana?
fine.
19.
Okay. And that is how it shall be. Is this a good spot? I don't know if it's very visible, but I have room. She has space on the side of her shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's framed.
Perfect, dude.
God,
All
that
right.
picture is incredible.
I'll show you the full version that's not so dark. It's just this uniform background, but she's pretty dope.
So excited.
I do love her. So, we're going to open with the Bosco, who rolled a natural 20.
Well, you've made it easy. You say we can't take the baby and for as long as you draw breath. Well, guess I have to stop you from breathing. Bosco is going to put his front claws into the ground. His fur will begin to rise. The barbs will sink in for a brief moment before sticking out like his own quills against this porcupine.
Mm-hmm.
Am I within 30 feet to get
Yes.
to?
I was going to say the group is roughly about 30 feet away from her, Valerius being 30 feet up, as opposed to away.
Okay. Then Bosco is going to rage.
Tell me more.
I'll tell you more. Let's see here. So on all fours, he's just going to kick dirt behind him, sprinting as fast as he can to surprise the witch. And as he gets just within range, he is going to scoop up dirt into her eyes and then pounce downwards.
Dirty boy.
I don't really need the scooping to do anything, but
Oh, of course. But
Here we
I
go.
like the flavor.
oh my gushness.
You say
Okay.
gushness?
Yeah, my gushness.
I like that.
I've been rolling a little too well for this game. That's another natural 20.
Oh.
Wow, 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 wow. Roll me that ding dong damage.
Now you've really used them up.
Ding-a-dong.
Yeah, you better be out now.
I better be.
It's like the
Got a few
image of
doozies
you
in the
coming out
chamber.
of the closet going shh, but the closet's just full of dice with 20s on them.
So 10, 12, 18 points of damage.
Mm. Hot sandwich, man.
Hot sandwich. I would love to use my bonus action to spike her, but that was my rage.
Ah, yes, it was indeed to trigger your ancestral fury. As
Like,
oh, I don't even need a reaction. When Quilbara is hit by a melee attack, the attacker take 2 points of piercing damage.
That's fair.
So you get stabbed by one of her razor-sharp quills, and they seem to move unnaturally on her body, like more animated than a normal porcupine should be. They grow where they need to be, not where they are.
You said 2?
2.
Do I get to reduce that?
It is piercing
rage.
damage, so it is technically reduced to 1.
All right.
It is a specified damage type.
You think your quills can match the pain the crofter's gift has given me.
At the end of Bosco's turn, she takes a legendary action. And she says, I'll show you, Quills. And she uses Pins of the Earth. I need everyone to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, poopy.
Would you say that I can see this and get my danger
Yes, indeed.
sense?
Yeah, that's what it's for. Okay, Zach, what'd you get?
I got a 16.
That sounds like a very monk number. Dana, what did you get?
7.
Nice. Max?
I'm right down there with Dana. 9.
And Angelo.
Danger sense bumps me up to 15.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, 15. Okay, so Zach and Angelo make the save against Pins of the Earth.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Didn't get it with a 9?
Ain't that just the way? So, those of you who failed, which is Dana and Max, you both take 5 points of piercing damage, as from the ground at your feet, including the branches under your talons, a razor-sharp organic quill, almost like the thorn of a rose, just rips outward and buries into your body. You two have both gained the pinned condition. It's not like you're pinned to the ground, but you have a pin impaled into your body. The two of you who made the save do not get the pinned condition and only take 2 points of piercing damage, as you avoid the impact that would impale you. And yes, that is reduced to 1 damage to Bosco because it's piercing.
This is in no way worse than the last one.
Par for the
Well, my
course.
friends aren't acclimated to the pins and needles.
I woke up every morning eating quills just to prepare for this immunity.
And all of my crushing numbness means I'm very used to pins and needles.
All right, that brings us to Tiana.
Yeah, what does this pinned condition do?
You don't know. You seem to be able to move normally, other than it hurts a lot. But you can feel
Okay.
some kind of dark magic, perhaps, pulsing through this quill.
Nice.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it's not a big deal. Tiana reaches for Cruel and draws it from her belt. What you have done is unforgivable. And you're not even sorry. And with that, she raises Cruel into a fighting stance and advances on the Pinwitch.
All right, show me them numbies, them num-nums.
I'm gonna use my my inspiration to re-roll that.
Oh, coming out of the gate early with the inspiration.
Yeah. That's better. That's better. That's a 24.
Yes, yes,
Ooh.
indeed. Most definitely. She's wearing a trucker shirt. Interpret her AC's maybe not over 20.
And that's gonna do 11 damage.
Oh, okay. You, in turn, will take 2 points of piercing damage as you get close enough to trigger her defensive quills.
Tiana grimaces, but continues engaging with this enemy.
All right. Let's see. Okay, she's next, so she's not going to take a legendary action. But she is going to go. She seems to be quite frustrated with the endurance of Bosco, who has come face to face with her, and seems to be shrugging off her massive, nasty quills. So she taps her fire poker onto the ground a couple of times, activating its magical ability to cast Heat Metal.
Oh no!
So, the barbed wire that is fused with your body begins to hiss and sizzle as it gently grows warmer and warmer. Let me look up the mechanics, because it's been a hot minute.
Such a good spell.
Yeah, cause the object to glow red hot. Any creature in physical contact with the object is going to take fire damage. Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your subsequent turns to do this damage again. So keep that in mind. Where's my d8s? Okay. Bosco the Tethered. You're about to take some spicy damage. You take 9 fire damage as the heat begins to hiss and sizzle and cauterize what has not been cauterized for some time, making your muscles tighten and sting.
No amount of angry fixes the burning.
No. And she just kind of holds this fire poker, almost mocking Tiana's fencing posture, using it like a weapon. Seems like she's ready for combat, if that's what it comes to. And that will bring us to Valerius.
Kulbara, you alone are not the only one here who can manipulate the shadows and smoke. I'm going to throw down my little spell book and flip open to a page that I have not used yet. Narrowing my eyes and looking across it, I'm going to read off the words of the crofters. Hapiha Loween. As I move a wing in front of myself and cast Shadow Blade. As the feathers on the outside of my wing grow long and sharp as the corn silk I weave between my wings moves out and the shadows form around them. I am going to fly down to the edge of... is there a spot within 20 feet of her I could go to that would be shadowy, not fully in the light of the fire?
The roof of her hut, while covered in spikes, is also casting many shadows of the corpses that hang on top of it.
I'll take a risk and try to fly down onto that.
Right on.
Glide down and land on top of the roof. And when I do, I'm going to fold my wing up in front of me and launch the shadowy sharpness from the edge of my wing at her.
Tell me all about the spook knife. I'm very
Hell
interested.
Yeah. It's a crazy spell. I summon a blade made of shadows that has the light and throne property. It does 2d8 psychic damage when it hits. And I can throw it 20-40 feet, and if I am in dim light or shadows, I have advantage on the attack roll. It's a concentration spell, and if I let go of it or throw it, I can use a bonus action on subsequent turns to summon it again.
Nice.
It's a cool spell.
Dope as shit.
All right.
Let's see your wizard attack.
I have advantage, so that's
And it uses your spellcasting to attack?
Yes, correct.
Nice.
Does a 19 total hit?
Yes, it does.
Sweet.
What a neat spell.
Right? That is going to be 13 psychic damage to her
13
as
psychic
the
damage.
sharp, illusory, shadowy edges of my wings slash down toward her and cut across her shoulders and back. And brain, I guess.
Right into her mind. Several of the quills slide off of her body and fall to the ground, and they almost wriggle and coil up like dying worms as they hit the ground. And slowly they begin to grow back. But the hissing of the necrotic energy remains behind. She winces. At the end of your turn, she's going to use a legendary action.
Rude.
A little bit. I'm going to roll here. Let's see. Okay. So she points the butt of her iron poker at Tiana, who has the pinned condition. And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, of course.
As she casts Pierce the Mind.
Dirty 20.
Dirty
Hell
20.
yeah.
That's very good. For a moment, you see the fire next to her burning under this helm, and the scenery transforms. And you're standing in front of a tiny hut, the hut you grew up in, but it's on fire. Embers crackle and windows shatter. And a young mouse, a little taller than you, wearing a red doily as a tabard with a black needle at her hip, looks to you judgingly and says, "You've taken my things! You've burned my home! You've ruined everything!" But the illusion fades. You shake your head, realizing that's not true. That can't happen. Jam Jam would never. But for a moment, you felt the despair of that failure. But you are stronger than it.
Oh, thank goodness.
And that brings it to Elazar, thrice dead.
He closes the distance like lightning, diving between Bosco and Quilbara. As he does so, he comes up with his foot into a question mark kick to slash across her face.
Ooh.
And that is a natural fucking 20.
Y'all.
Mm. Juicy. All right.
Show me that double kick.
That is a... I'm gonna... I can't see shit on this die. I'm gonna roll a different one. That's 2d4. Woo! So that is a 3 and a 3. So that is 6 plus my dexterity bonus of 3. So that is 9 coming at her.
Nice.
And then I'm going to go ahead and spend a key point to do a flurry of blows to drop another hot one. So as he comes up and does this question mark kick, he pushes off of her and touches Bosco with his open hands, which seem to be actively bleeding. And I'm going to use one of my flurry of blows attacks to do hands of healing on him.
Ooh.
Which is going to be my martial die plus my wisdom modifier. That is a 3 plus 3. So that's 6 healing to you.
You healed.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to do my remaining flurry of blows attack, which is only going to be a 14.
That unfortunately misses. You're starting to narrow in
That's
on what her AC is.
That's okay. So he hits her with the question mark kick, pushes off of her, jumps onto him, pushes back off of him, and tries to, like, deliver a punch to her face. When he misses that, he realizes he's not going to make it, so instead he lays his hands onto her face instead of clawing at it and tries to dump necrotic energy, literally channeling the rot of his flesh into her. And he's just going to spend another key point to use Hands of Harm, dealing 1 of my martial die plus wisdom for necrotic damage.
Okay.
And that one's a 4 plus 3, so that's 7.
7 more necrotic damage.
And he's just going to try and latch onto her face and keep dumping his own curse into her.
Yes, as Jack said, throwing hands. You are like a tiny diseased rocket just zipping through the air. You zigzag up her torso, delivering blow after blow. And on the way, just patting Bosco quick enough to heal some of his horrible wounds.
You would poison these lands. I shall poison you. The crofters gave me this gift, and I pass it on.
In your flurry, you take a total of 4 points of piercing damage for having delivered 2 successful attacks.
Boom. The Hands of Harm is just an extension of my unarmed attack.
Okay. So it doesn't actually roll to hit?
Yeah, it is just, you can just, on an unarmed hit, so I'm
Gotcha.
attaching it to the first
Understood.
one.
So it's just the 2 damage then.
Okie dokie.
From the Keek. And at the end of your turn, she uses her third and last legendary action for the turn. She's going to cast 1 million wands, or not cast it, she's going to use the ability 1 million wands to cast a cantrip. And I need Bosco, Tiana, and Elazar to make me dexterity saving throws as they are all adjacent to Quilbara. As she casts Sword Burst.
Oh, so cool.
This one's an 18.
Hey, that's good.
16?
16 makes it.
Danger sense applies.
Yes.
17.
Damn, y'all. And this isn't one of those ones that you take half on a failure or a success, so you all take no damage, but the quills on her body, several of them fire off and whip around her like a razor-sharp, thorny tornado, and then snap back onto her, and she snarls.
You'll not leave this glade alive. I will boil you down into a potion to make my child stronger.
And that brings us to the top of the initiative with Bosco.
Oh, it's do or die. That's how it always is in the Undermile. Quick question.
Yes?
Is the heat metal still going after she took some damage?
It is cast from an item, so she is not the one concentrating on it.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
Gross.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Bosco is going to drop down onto one knee, lunge with one arm towards one of her hind legs, and then with his other arm try and grab towards a shoulder, an arm, a neck if he can, and try and hoist her onto his shoulder.
Ooh.
And attach her to my barbed wires so that if she heats it, we both take it.
I see what you're doing here. Yeah, I like this.
So if you want to give me disadvantage on the grapple check, I'll take it.
You know what?
Or
This seems
however
like
you'd like.
this seems like a very valid, straightforward grapple. The effects of the barbed wire are simply in addition to the situation. So you're rolling at a normal number.
All right. So she makes an athletics or acrobatics to contest me. If I can successfully roll a die on the table. And I have advantage because I'm raging for a 19 on athletics.
Ooh, this old broad is a little stronger than she looks. She's been through some shit, which means she gets a total of 17. So you still get the upper hand in the grapple, but she puts up more of a fight than you would have thought. And she's a couple heads taller than you. But you manage to heft her up, and you're now giving her the old death squeeze as quills meet barbed wire, meet claw, meet tooth.
And Elzar's going to go ahead and just let go and duck underneath.
You don't need none of this pain sandwich.
Yeah.
So,
oh yes,
if your barbs heat metal deal you any damage and you're still grappling her, she's going to take half of that without a save.
Okay.
In doing this, though, you do take 2 points of piercing damage as you just hug her quills into you.
Okay. And she takes 3 from me because I grapple her onto my barbs.
Yep. It's just a stab off. A very sharp
it is.
wrestling match. I love it.
And you were saying all the meat, the claw, the spikes, the quills. As they're locked in, as my bonus action, I'm gonna do my spike, in which I'm just gonna grind all of us together.
Ooh,
Just gonna use her like a loofah to scratch my back.
no.
You know what you do with a porcupine. It's natural.
Yeah, the shower cheese.
Give her the old flesh loofah.
The old grab and stab. All right, roll me that.
Flesh loofah.
That is a 24 to hit.
Yeah, when it hits, it just deals the d4s, right? It's not another contested. This is just an attack.
This one is just an attack,
Yeah,
not
that's
a
what I
grapple.
just couldn't remember. So you deal the damage. You take 2 more piercing, and it's just a fucking
So that's
bloody
2
mess.
plus my 4, plus 2 from raging, and plus 2 from tenacity of badgers. Whenever they damage something that is not at full HP.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe brings me up to 4, 6, 8, 10 points of damage.
Yowkers. 4, 13. Nasty business. My goodness, you horrible little animals. Very good. I'm loving it.
That's my turn.
That is indeed your turn. Let's see here. What's it going to be?
We've been rabies the whole time.
At the end of your turn, she is simply going to trigger a Pins of the Earth. So that means everyone who is making contact with anything natural, including the roof of the hut, is going to make another dex save.
God damn it.
That's only a 15 this time.
Well,
15 is the DC.
Hey!
Lordy.
Valerius gets a 20 fucking 1.
Wow.
Throwing that 19 on the die.
Is he susceptible to that since he's not on the ground?
The roof, too, branches anything within 30 feet of her. That's as long as you're not flying, basically. Some quill will emerge.
20
So-
total.
20 total. Is that yours?
Mine, yeah.
Okay, you remain unpinned. And Zach, you got the 15. Tiana, what'd you get?
Yeah.
well, I don't think this little mouse can hold too many needles in her.
So that means it was only Dana that failed?
Mm-hmm.
Max, what'd you get?
I got a 21.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So Max, you're still pinned from before, but you do not take new damage in full. So, Tiana, you take 4 points of piercing damage, and everyone else just takes 2 and does not gain any new pinned conditioning. But now Tiana's double pinned.
Yeah, Tiana definitely squeaks when that happens.
All right. Elazar, roll me a perception check.
I can and will. That is a 17 plus 5.
Oh, yeah. You're up close and personal. You're not quite as distracted as Bosco with all of his thrashing and gnashing, and you understand biology a bit better than your allies. It seems like the quills that are embedded into some of your friends are giving Quilbara strength, perhaps helping to tend her wounds.
I see.
You think you could remove them with a medicine check to make them lose the pinned condition, but it would take some time.
Gotcha.
Just an option. So that is the pins of the earth. That brings us to Tiana.
I'll cry out to everyone.
Remove the pins from you. She's feeding on you.
Okay, so Tiana spit roasted by these quills.
No,
Is-
no.
That was for Jack in the chat. How dare you use Jam Jam against me? She sent me here. I swore an oath to mend and defend. And I'm going to use my bonus action to make a fainting attack.
Mm.
And so that's going to expend a superiority die. And then my next attack is going to have advantage, and I'm going to add that die to the damage, I believe.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna stab this bitch.
Fair enough.
How's the 22?
That do it. Oh no, my combat music didn't restart. My epic tunes.
No.
I have it on loop. Weird.
That is going to be 14 points of damage.
14.
God damn.
It's a strong little needle.
It
You in
is.
turn will take 2 piercing, as you have learned by this point. Oh shit, I forgot something. But that's okay, it'll still come on. Too much stuff to keep track of for my dumb brain. Wonderful. What else? It's at the end of your turn, or are you still going?
That's it for me.
Okay. She can't use a legendary action because it's her turn now. So she is going to use a bonus action to deal the Badger fire damage, and she's going to take half of it because she is not out of the grapple. Okay. 15 fire damage to Bosco.
Oh, blah.
A little higher than the last roll. And she also takes some fire damage, but because of the fire poker, she actually has fire resistance. That's its other ability. Still hurts her,
That's
though.
good. Yeah.
And then for her turn, boy, what's this? The coolest, most effective thing she can do? I think she's going to bury the fire poker into your heart. That sounds pretty cool.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I think she's going to go for it. Either that or she could blast someone with a spell.
Bosco's got a very calloused heart. No effect.
I am looking at a 19 to hit your armor class with her attack.
Well, that'll do.
Not that calloused.
So 10 halved to 5 piercing damage, and an additional 4 fire damage.
All right.
As the red hot tip starts pressing through your cloak, it actually snaps some of the tethered barbed wire and pierces into your flesh, hissing and cooking.
I won't be able to hold her for long. Finish her off.
That brings us to Valerius.
Valerius has never dealt with such spicy pork in his life. He is going to... He is going to trust that Elazar has this. Flying off of the roof, gliding down, he's going to land on the edge of the wagon where the Crofter baby is. And look over to it and see if it's okay.
Yes, it is terrified, but something about the distraction of the combat seems to have stopped its crying for the time being. It seems to be listening and whining and struggling, but not wailing.
Babies are malicious. I am going to, after that, see if I can pull this quill out of my foot.
Okay, roll me a medicine check.
Oh god, where is the thing? I'm not trained in this. I'm gonna go ahead and use my inspiration point to reroll that. Not much better. It's not a 1 though, it's a 5.
You do remove it, but you're going to take damage because you failed the medicine check.
I understand.
5 points of piercing damage as you sloppy and haphazardly try to safely remove it and cause quite a bit of bleeding.
I'm going to make a concentration check on my spell then.
Ah, yes, the spooky knife.
You should just stop pushing all the way through.
The pain is enough for Valerius to lose his concentration as the shadows float back under her control. I still might catapult the baby at some point in time, Sidonis.
Jesus, what?
Wait a minute.
Desperate time.
Is this baby over 5 pounds, though?
On the scale at which we are performing, that is a very large target. You can't catapult an ogre.
Oh, you're right.
Relative to a crofter.
It's all relative.
Right. If it was a crofter casting cattle, he could chuck the shit out of that baby. It's a little bird. If it's a little bird doing it, no sir.
Look, if it was the superior spell Trebuchet, it could have done it.
Maybe
fair,
if I
it
was
doesn't-
a stork.
It doesn't specify that the thrown object takes damage as well. Maybe it gets
true.
immunity frames.
I will definitely play a stork next time. I mismade my character.
Wonderful.
I am going to end my turn.
And I'm going to make a note that you are no longer with the pinned condition. At the end of your turn, she is going to use 1,000,000 wands to cast Sword Burst again. Because in the situation she's in, it's just her best cantrip. And this time I will remember, Tiana, you have disadvantage on this save because it is against her spell and you do have the pinned condition.
No.
One of her wands is up in you. I just forgot last turn because I'm not a smart boy.
2 of them.
Yes, 2 of them.
So many
That's
ones.
a Bosco, Elazar, and Tiana deck save. Just whoever's adjacent.
10.
Yay! A Bosco.
19.
Nice. Staying alive.
These are all dexterity saving throws. Disadvantage is too good.
It's a really useful ability, I'm not going to lie. So, the 2 of you take 8. Is it slashing damage from the spell? It doesn't really matter. Unless it's boss. It's force damage. 8 force damage.
Force.
Hey.
I got a 13.
The 15 is the DC for spells.
My other one was so much higher.
No. Yeah, 8 force damage to each of you, which makes it Elazar the thrice dance turn.
The smell of burning flesh, cooked almost to perfection, bloody and dripping, fills his mind, and he is driven mad by it.
I shall devour you from the inside out. Every inch of you.
And he reaches his head up and latches onto her rear. Since she is held aloft by Bosco, he is going to sink his teeth into her rectum and begin to pull free her intestines and try to devour her from inside out.
Ooh, savage medieval rat tactics.
Real quick, how much damage was that sword burst?
8.
That's a fucking natural 20 on my bite.
Did you just crit her bungus?
I just crit her fucking butthole, my man.
Be the butt cum you want to see in the world.
So
Oh
that's
my God.
2d6 instead of d4. Do I multiply the poison on this one?
Sure.
He's
Okay.
making brownies up there.
That's a 6 and a 4. So, all right, that's 10. Then 2 poison damage, which gets multiplied to 4, so that's 14. Invigorated and maddened, he burns the key to go ahead and do a flurry of blows, and he's going to continue to chew and tear at whatever flesh he can get his mouth and fingers into.
He's going full smart squatch on her.
That is an 18 plus 8, or plus, yeah.
This
Or
is
18 plus 5, excuse me.
some messy butt damage.
No one eats ass like Elazar.
And since he is in this position, he is going to use one of the attacks to, with his hind legs, kick at Bosco to heal him as blood and pus and gore begins to cover the badger.
You know what? Roll me a wisdom saving throw to see if you have
Oh.
the cognizance to trigger a healing ability while you're in your bloodlust.
That is absolutely fair. I only get a 13 out of that one.
Yeah, I don't know how much that blood and pus is going to heal me.
I'll call it. I'll say that that's fine. 13 would be a very fair DC that I would probably set for this.
Okay. In which case, Bosco gets... That is only a 2 plus 3, so 5 HP. Sorry, I couldn't do more for you there. As the pus and fluids from my own body sluice over your wounds, you notice that they do heal. They don't corrupt. It's almost as if something about me is nourishing. And then I will spend my final key point to do Hands of Harm again. And that one is going to be... that is a 3 plus 3 necrotic right into her bungus.
Necrotize her G-spot.
As the disease begins to spread into her.
Good lord. Well, the lack of oxygen and the sheer volume of calcified porcupine shit slightly pulls you out of your rage, but you have caused an irreversible amount of damage to the backside of this porcupine witch. She will not be sitting ever again, probably. She's still kicking, but you have made quite the jack-o'-lantern of her backside. It is a horrific smell and a horrific sight.
One hell of a prostatement.
Not okay. She is going to... she has another legendary action this turn. But only one of you is pinned. So she's going to use 1 million wands and cast Primal Savagery on Elazar, who just fucking ate her ass. So a claw reaches back and grabs
That's
at
the only
thriving little haunches sticking out of her bungus. And she makes a spell attack at 22.
Ooh, that'll do it.
Big 22. Okay. So you're going to take me 9 acid damage.
Whew, I'm not in good shape.
To be fair, though, she also put a little extra acid into her own beehole. So it's, you know, give and get. It
Folks,
helps.
I am at 1 HP.
My dude.
Oh, no.
I was at 3.
You are hip deep in porcupine ass and at 1 HP.
Living dangerously.
By the way, how much
Elazar
did you heal me?
5. Elazar licks the blood and filth from his face.
Kill me if you will. You're already infected.
And at the end of this initiative, we are going to go ahead and take ourselves a little 5-minute break and return to finish the combat with Quilbara.
We are ass deep in battle.
Oh,
This is a messy fight.
sorry, everybody.
You really wrecked him.
Oddly knew him. Are you apologizing on behalf of the visuals?
Yes.
Right on. So we will be right back, everybody, and we will check in on the fundraiser and see what happens with the party and the horribly damaged body of Quilbara. BRB.
Guys, stop.
Welcome back to Undermile, where we ruin assholes. Let's take a quick check on the fundraiser. We have gotten a $20 donation from Jack Canales. Thank you so much. That brings us to $13.30.
Yes.
You guys are killing it. This feels so good. Raising money for these animals. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, everybody.
If we get to 2,000, one of these animals will come to life and actually become real.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
Here's hoping for
Super
Elazar.
fact. Why would you want the plague one?
Badger.
Let's get this like cosmic plague rat.
Now, to follow up on what happened in the last violent turn, normally Elazar would take piercing damage for having attacked Quilbara, but because you attacked her from the inside, I'm gonna let it slide.
Thank God. For a second, I thought you were gonna be like, Quilbara uses her ability Inner Quills.
Ugh.
Oh no, yeah. I'm gonna say you're safe from it on that one.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're not out of the woods yet, though, quite literally. And that brings us to Bosco's turn.
Right. Just to clarify, how attached is Elazar to Quilbara?
I mean, he's basically... his haunches are sticking out of her backside. He's in the dark, the mysterious
It's inside.
dark, bloody place.
A good clench will
Okay.
shoot him right out.
He's half in, half out.
All right. Well, God, I guess I'm bringing him along with me. Is there a tree or a fallen log nearby?
The things that are nearby are the hut, the wagon, and the fire. And there are trees, but they're going to be about 30 feet away.
Okay.
Because it's
And
clearing.
yeah. How sturdy is this hut?
It looks pretty well made. It's covered in sharp animal bones. And while the outside is mostly like draped fabric, you think the bones of it are pretty sturdy.
Okay, cool. Then I would like to, because I have Quilbara grappled, carry her and run her into the hut.
Like into the wall, like crashing in.
Yeah, into the wall. Pin her between me
Okay.
and the wall.
I'm into this.
So I'll use my movement to get there. And then I would like to mechanically take the shove action to make her prone.
Okay. She will be contesting it with her strength. But
Yes.
I can definitely give her the old heave-ho. Ooh, I don't know, my dude.
She is pretty strong, but so am I.
It's true.
I have a 24.
No. I got a
I got a +6.
I rolled a 19 for a 23.
Oh.
As soon as I saw that 19, I was like, there's no way. But here we are.
Advantage while raging, and I got a +6.
I hear you. Yeah, your athletics is definitely higher. She's going off pure strength mod. So
The real-
you
Go ahead.
you tote her like a haystack, slamming her into the hut. Let's say she takes this much piercing damage from the nasty bones and the impact.
Does that create enough positive pressure on the lower gut to squeeze out an Elazar?
I'm gonna
Shoot you out like a fucking champagne cork.
I'm gonna have. I don't like this sentence, but I have Quilbara roll a clench check using Constitution.
It's called inner strength.
That is a Constitution acrobatics check if I've ever heard one.
No, this is Constitution Persuasion. You
DM, can I
are
ask an
fucking
important
locked
question?
and loaded. You are snug as a bug.
Oh.
In fact, the pain is probably causing her to clench more than it is push. You are getting squoze. But she does take some impact damage as Bosco chucks her into the side of this tent, knocking down one of the poles, and some animal bones come scattering down around you, some of which land near the fire. The baby gets a light dusting of debris.
Blasting her core. Thank you, Saidon.
Yeah, Elzar really targets the core. Anything else on your turn, Bosco?
I'm just gonna. Right, this is gonna be painful for you, and I'm going to. I know. That's for Wolf slightly. Since part of her is pinned down, I have like my body weight up against her and the hut.
Yeah.
I'm going to outreach my arms into like a bear hug stance, and then clap them down. But I'm not aiming for her. I am trying to get the barbed wire around my arms to tangle and pin into the hut, to entangle me as well, so that if I fall unconscious, she is still stuck here.
Okay.
I'm gonna double crucify us on this hut, dude.
That's a strange technique, but I'm into it. So I'm just going to have you roll me a straight-up athletics check to see how well you entangle your arms into the side of the hut for your battle rager grapple.
Okay. That is a 23.
All right, you're pretty well tangled. Thankfully, there's like vertebrae and ribs and stuff sticking out that you can manage to loop through parts of your barbed wire. Some of them just stick into you. You take a point of damage as you are strongly agitating the things that hold you in place. And, yeah, you think you're pretty well tangled up until this hut comes toppling down.
That's my next move. No spoilers.
Now, at the end of your turn, she gets her legendary action, and she's going to use Quills of the Earth. So everyone's going to make me a dex save, and I never thought I would say this sentence, but I'm going to give Elazar advantage from having half cover inside of her butt.
Does the wagon count as something natural that I'm standing on?
Oh, you know what? That's right. You move to the wagon. The quills will not affect the area that the baby is in. There is no harmful magic that will touch that, so you are fine.
I appreciate the advantage, but I got 2 10s, which both add 5 for a grand total of 15 each.
Then you make it. That's the DC.
Doesn't matter, though, because I take any damage, and I'm out!
Yeah.
Unless chewing through her colon gave me some healing.
No. Of all the places that would heal you to eat, that's the last one. How about Tiana?
You fool, the pelvic floor is the strongest part of the porcupine.
But to be fair, I am using the well-known druid spell, Dingleberry.
No.
Oh gosh. I got an 8, and honestly I'm glad that I'm probably gonna get knocked out.
Oh my, you don't like these quills. And Bosco?
I know it's same team / same me, but would you impose disadvantage on my dex save for the state I'm in?
You lose your advantage.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Ah, there it is.
And switch that over to a 15.
That'll make it. So, you both, Elazar and Bosco, take 1 point of damage, and Tiana takes 2.
I don't know, so with my last
that's not
turn, I
bad.
could have used my move action to eat my berry.
No, you literally
You're too
did
busy
like
eating
9
berries.
things on your turn. I think your dance card was kind of full. You did her like 30 damage to the butthole. Like, it was a turn well spent.
The ultimate sacrifice.
So, now you do, in fact, as your body goes limp, get shit out, I guess, onto the ground at 0 HP. As you all see
Slithering
Elazar,
onto the floor like afterbirth.
some of your leprous skin shuffing off inside of her sphincter, and some of your bandages now covered in porcupine viscera and waste.
You've been passed.
You've been passed. Tiana, you are now watching this thing.
Okay, so I've lost a lot of hit points and my innocence. So Tiana is going to look Quilbara in the eye and say, "You knew Jam Jam, didn't you? She spoke of you. I just didn't realize it. She didn't call you Pin Witch. She called you Prick Witch." And I'm going to remember that I'm a fighter and use Second Wind.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Love Second Wind.
Oh, so good.
Feel the power in might.
Perfect time to drink your energy drink. Thank you, Lana.
Intentional.
So, yeah, Tiana pounds an energy drink.
Mhm.
It looks a little better. And then I'm going to attack with Cruel again. Is Quilbara still prone?
Basically, the success of Angelo's attack was replicating a prone condition. So, yeah, she has lost her ability to dodge. I would call it more of a restrained, but you do have advantage to hit her. You go in melee.
Perfect. Okay, I got a 19 to hit.
Oh yeah. That penetrates her plaid.
And a minimum damage of 5.
Ooh.
You rolled min damage?
Yes.
Oh no, okay. Nasty bad.
The more you rip her plaid, the cooler she gets.
That's true, yeah, she gets more punk rock. One of her glasses has like the lens shattered out of it with her like swollen yellow eye behind it looking out angrily. She's just covered in blood. Her iron poker has fallen to the ground. Still radiating magic, but no longer under her control. For attacking anyway. Oh, that's gonna make it her turn, and she doesn't have any healing spells other than her abilities that trigger based on what you do, so she's looking pretty fucked up. What's the best? What's the best?
Tiana, you use Second Wind and all you did was attack? Or did I miss that?
Yeah, that's a bonus and standard action.
Yep. She only has one action this turn right now.
I forgot what Second Wind was.
It's just fighters saying, hit points for me, please.
I thought it was the I get an extra action thing. And I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
no,
action
here,
surge.
here comes the next one.
It's action surge.
Right.
And I... Yeah, maybe next time.
She does not want this crow on her baby, despite the fact that she is tangled. She's not going anywhere with this Bosco grapple. Bosco has the upper hand in the tangle. She's shit out the rat. Tiana is still a threat, but she wants to get you off of this wagon. So I need to look up how this spell works, because I haven't cast it in a hot minute.
Get this crow off.
She's really just trying to help me with my problems. Gotta get me off the wagon.
I
I have a
Max
very
just makes
important
a save
question.
versus death.
Yes, what is your important question?
Did she butt come?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Lord. Lordy.
She climaxed a rat right out of her beehole.
Oh, mouse Jesus.
Just like we all do.
That was the
sometimes.
climax of the story. Yeah.
That's the whole game. She shit out a rat at the end.
I am so glad we edit the other podcast.
I need to make sure you understand that she's still shitting, though. You broke the floodgates. There's no pucker button holding anything back anymore.
This rat just staked his claim on that meat gutter.
No. Anyway, moving on. She, through the tangle of Bosco's tethers and barbs and the wall of her own hut, she just reaches a hand out and she hurls a witch bolt at Valerius. And you don't even get to make a save. I just have to roll to attack you. And I got a 15.
Does she have disadvantage for being all entangled?
Does restraint give you disadvantage to attack?
It does.
Very well, she may. That's what I get for throwing around conditions willy-nilly. It's the way it should be. Speed becomes 0. No, disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Oh, no. There's a sub-note that the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. Okay, disadvantage. Very fair. Natural 20.
Fuck.
So the 15 will be the one we're keeping, I suppose.
15 hits.
You sure you don't want to get crit? Just a little crit?
I thought about it, and where you do deserve it at this point in time, Law, I'm gonna go ahead and deny you.
Okay, fair enough.
Law, I think you can use your inspiration and use the 20.
Oh yes, my DM inspiration. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's 2d12.
Ow.
Oh,
Mm.
And you're a wizard, so I don't suppose 20 damage is a good thing to have coming at you.
ooh.
Hold on, let me do some math. Oh, that very nearly just outright kills me. I am very unconscious.
So feathers fly as Valerius gets flung off of the wagon, and there is now a singed, crackling bird corpse on the ground.
If I may.
Mm.
All right, that's all.
Top shelf. I really like it. That makes it Valerius's turn. So go ahead and make me a death. Or no, Valerius is the bird. So yeah, death saving throw.
That's me. Oh God, come on. That's a 7. Not good.
That's a death save for Valerius.
Not good.
We're looking good. Everything's great.
Uh-oh.
I think we're going the same with Elazar. I think we're at a death save.
That's a 7.
Double sevens.
Lucky 7.
Oh boy.
Hey,
Nothing like
Bosco.
going down with your teammate.
It's Bosco's turn.
All right. Well, with my arms all tangled up, I'm going to sink my fangs into her throat
Okay, roll me an attack check.
and treat her trachea as an earthworm and eat it. Hopefully. Gobber. And jubber. Okay. That is a 22 to hit.
That can't deny that hits.
No, she might have some special abilities. Oh boy.
No more, please.
We've run the gambit. She didn't use her whole spell list or anything, but I think all the legendary stuff has been seen.
That is 16 points of damage.
Christ on toast. And Tiana, you're still double. You're still double pinned, right?
I am. Deanna is cute.
Yeah, it just helps me track what her hit points are at the top of the round. So you wail into her throat for 16 damage. The blood fills your mouth and it tastes wrong.
Yeah, doesn't taste like an earthworm.
Tastes like
and then
smoke and cancer and rotted vegetables.
and much like a dog trying to rip a piece of meat off a carcass, just gonna
Oh, keep in mind you take 2
ring
damage
back
from
and
that,
forth. Yep,
or 1 as it were.
and make my bonus action attack.
Are you looking at your racial abilities, Valerius?
Yes. I'm not dead.
It's a little lower. 18 to hit.
Yeah, 18 hits. And
I have
then
advantage on death saves.
after Bosco's turn, we will retcon a couple of the things that happened last turn.
That is 12 more damage.
Jesus Christ. Okay. You can feel her body surrender under the strength of your oppressive biting, clawing, and rending. There's still
I'll
air
take
in
a
her
break.
lungs.
Yeah, from her neck real quick, blood and fur and quills all over my face, and turn to Tiana. Use my berries if you have to. Get the others up. And then Bosco is going to finally show a bit of weakness as he is getting lower and lower in the HP.
Looking you dead in the eyes, like the red rage in her eyes matches the anger of your own. And she says,
Killing me will not end this. Quite the opposite.
and to retcon the last end of that turn, Elazar, you can roll me another d20 to give advantage on the roll you would have failed.
Ooh, thank God I rolled a 2 this time.
Oh, thank God. And Valerius, actually, when you get flung away with the electric blast, a racial ability triggers for the Corvid. Go ahead and tell the audience about that.
As I am blasted off the back of the wagon onto the ground, feathers still flying everywhere, a loud crowing coming from me, a cawing, if you will. I sink into the dirt a little bit like a comet from the sky and cough out just a little bit of smoke. Oh, every bone in my body is broken. I'm gonna sit up. Is there any way from here that I could mage hand my black strawberry into Elazar's mouth?
That's pretty tricky.
It's a stretch. It's a stretch, I know. I'd be happy to fly over there and feed it to him myself, if that's a no.
Yeah, I mean, he's unconscious. He's not going to be like belly up, mouth open, just waiting for a snack.
Totally fair.
As much as I love the scene.
I imagine he's a little full right now, too, so I'm not super concerned.
He did eat too much butt spaghetti. I couldn't eat another bite. It's just a strawberry. No, I'm absolutely stuffed. Couldn't do it.
What about second butt?
Ass Levensies. But yeah, you can hop your way over. You're really not that far. You're on the wagon.
Yeah.
And plop your sweet berry into his juicy little rat mouth.
I will 100% do exactly that. And try to get him to, swallow to the best of my ability, touching him as little as I have to, maybe using my mage hand for a little bit of support there instead of, you get the idea. And do you want me to roll the die for that, or Zach?
There are no dice rolled for the black strawberries. Elazar, you get 20 hit points.
Forgot about that. Holy dick.
Shit.
What the fuck?
Crofters don't grow no half-ass strawberries.
Yeah.
These are black Himalayan strawberries. These things are like $28 a pound.
Go get some, Elazar.
So we have retconned the turn, and that will bring us to Tiana now that Bosco has done his thing.
Gosh.
She
Bosco...
seems fair. Just to set the scene, though, to clarify, she seems physically somewhat defeated, but she is still alive, and she seems to be cursing Bosco while pinned to the tent.
Yeah, as Bosco calls out to Tiana, Tiana is already turning back towards her friends. In fact, as soon as they fall, and I believe I turn and see Valerius feeding Elazar a strawberry, and this is just what we're doing, I guess, because I'm gonna feed Valerius. Here, Valerius, eat this, quickly. And I start just shoving a strawberry into your mouth. Let's talk, more chewing.
You also heal 20 hit points.
As a brief aside, it takes somewhere around 100 pounds to do CPR on somebody. If you're not breaking their ribs, you're probably not pushing hard enough. So that is an answer to your question, Wolf of the Borderline.
Although it would probably work on a creature your size.
Fair.
Okay.
Anything else
Are
on
you
your
both
turn?
okay?
I'm all right.
Good. I'm going to use Action Surge. And I'm going to use my bonus action to use Fainting Attack. And then I'm going to use my new action to hopefully deliver the final blow to this Pinwitch.
I mean, if you roll even average damage, it's likely. But I'd love to see your feint attack. You do have advantage because Bosco has spent the last 2 turns making sure she is restrained.
I also have it from Fainting Attack.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so the better of those rolls was a dirty 20 to hit. And then let's see what I can do with it.
Combat music. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a cool 17 damage.
17. Keep forgetting your needle counts as a rapier. Adds up quick. You are looking Quilbara in the face as she stares down at you, as you come in with your needle stab, and you see your reflection in one of her cat's eye glasses. And for a moment, you see not Tiana, but Jamina Bisquick, striking boldly and bravely. And you see familiar scars along the belly of this porcupine that look exactly like a needle made them a long time ago. And seeing them as a pattern, a stitch in a quilt, you know where to strike. And with Cruel the Black Needle, you deliver a lethal blow to her heart. As a wicked black sanguine sludge begins to seep out and up your arm. And as she exhales, the smoke comes out of her lungs and she says,
Nothing will change. It will all come around again. You've just delayed the inevitable, but you won't survive that error.
And as life fades from Quilbara, beaten and bloodied, the concoction brewing in the helm as though awoken begins to boil over as plumes of black smoke pour upward. And though seizing the fog and taking it over, the air begins filling with black smoke, and the fluid is multiplying, eating away at the ground, bubbling and hissing with dark magic in a mind of its own.
We need to get Bosco free. We need to get out of here.
We must save the child. Save the crofter. At all costs.
Can I make an athletics check to bust myself out of this?
Yes.
As he's doing that, I'm going to crawl up the back of him and stick my strawberry into his mouth.
Everyone's feeding each other some fruit.
I was about to say, I'll just open my mouth and wait for someone to feed me then. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Great circle of strawberries.
Yeah, I'll... it's a
Bad luck,
modified
Ted.
20
Eat your
to
own.
bust out of here.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
So you heal for 20 as the strawberry plops into your mouth and down your throat, and then you take an additional 4 slashing damage as you rip yourself free of the tangles of the net. And the hut begins to topple downward as the tent poles collapse on themselves. The weight of the skeletons begin to crush the fabric, and the clearing and campsite are ruined and now filling with this caustic bubbling, somewhat sentient seeming liquid, and it creeps towards the red wagon.
As it's collapsing, Bosco's going to turn to Tiana. Well done. Good strike. Your grandmother would be proud. And then, bloop, Barry.
Valerius, use your magic. Hold back the sludge while we try to move it.
Absolutely. Valerius is going to scoop up the fire poker that she dropped, if it's still nearby.
It is there. It's very heavy, but
Okay. He will do the best he can to keep a hold of it with one of his talons.
it's
and
like a
he
tabor
is
for
going-
you.
Oh, God. He'll lift a portion of it then and point it toward the sludge. And I am going to, if I can, cast Tensor's floating disc to try to make some sort of like small barricade between where the ooze is flowing and where the wagon is.
So more of a vertical disc instead of a horizontal disc.
Exactly, yeah.
Roll me an Arcana check.
You fucking got it. This is for all of the baby beans. All of the baby beans get me 16.
You
Nice resolve there.
very lovely.
Thank you.
You seem to be slowing it briefly, but even though the impenetrable magic of Tensor's disc typically holds a great deal, this caustic sludge seems to be even eating through the arcane magic of the shield.
This
But
is the time
certainly
I can
slow.
buy you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just slowed a bit.
This is what time I can buy you. Ugh. I am going to fly over and try to do anything I can to help. Pushing.
You
pulling.
leave the iron poker behind in order to maintain flight.
Yep.
Grabbing the handle of the wagon and flapping your wings, it barely moves at all. You're going to need some more strength pulling it, but thankfully the design of the wagon makes pulling something it's made for. Does anyone help?
I'm going to
Yeah.
grab the poker that he left behind, and I'm going to try to stick both of my staves into the yoke of the thing, and then pass them off to Bosco to drag.
Well, one is very small, one is very large, but I get what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
But you can definitely put the poker on the wagon and aid Bosco in having something to hold on to pull the thing using it.
I'll start pulling the wagon.
Tiana's feet are doing the thing where they move into the ground and not move at all. The baby begins crying and wailing. Do you take the handles, Bosco?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, we are now going to do a one-turn skill challenge in which each of you roll one skill. The objective is to get the wagon out of the woods and escape this growing caustic mass of evil magic.
Whew.
And the results of successes versus failures will perhaps dictate the finale. So we're going to keep the initiative we have as Bosco grabs onto the handle of the wagon. The baby is crying and wailing. The crying itself seems to amplify the evil magic of this liquid, as though its suffering makes it stronger. So, Bosco, what you got for me?
All right. Y'all think I should just get typecast into athletics again?
I mean, if the wagon fits.
It's
I mean,
going.
If you want, you can play lookout, and I can roll athletics.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
All right. Well, my old eyes don't work as they used to, so I'm gonna do what the first crofter chose me for, and use athletics to get this wagon through the woods as fast as I can.
Okay.
That is a 14.
All right, Bosco, being the largest of you, has the most progress in pulling the wagon. It's difficult with the rocks and roots and branches, but with the tenacity, the wagon does move. Tiana, what do you do to aid in this scenario?
Okay, so Tiana is going to stand on the bridge of Bosco's nose and be the lookout and be the set of eyes for him. And so she's going to use perception to point out which paths he should take that are more clear of debris that can accommodate this wagon.
Okay, let's see a perception check.
It's not good. It's not good.
I'm gonna
That's
root off this bad
nat
insight.
7 makes it 12.
12. As the group makes their way out of the clearing and back into the natural forest, something about the fog does not hold back this toxic black fluid. It seems to be pursuing you. And you can see now it's more like a low tidal wave, eating through trees, burning away undergrowth. And from the dark surface of it, you see things like skeletal bears emerge roaring and then dissolving back into the fluid. Swarms of unawoken crows cawing into the night. And the shadows of much darker hunters from deeper in the forest, reflecting in its surface. That brings us to Valerius.
All right, I got a weird one. Can I make a religion check to recall some of the...
I was gonna do a religion check. Religion's
Okay.
the whole deal.
Okay. Okay. I'll make that a history check then to see if I can recall some of the peaceful ballads of the crofters, the fragments of their language I understand, to see if I can hum and sing to this baby crofter and try to enhance it maybe with dancing lights or something.
You just took my whole turn right out from under me there, Chief.
Oh, I'm sorry,
It
man.
happens.
Your thing's arcana and magic. Come on.
Well, yeah, I speak the crofters, a little bit of their
All right.
language.
Use a crow.
Hey, if need be, I can try to enforce
Nah,
that
you-
with...
You do you.
All right.
I think it's cool you both had a very good idea. And yes, either history or yeah. I
Okay.
I'll
give history a go.
The Corvid have an imitation ability, or was that an optional thing?
That was an optional thing, and I think I took the additional language instead.
Right. Just checking. I'm almost tempted to make you do a performance check because
That's
you're doing a
fine.
lullaby.
Okay.
But I know it's
That's
not
not
nearly
as
as
good,
good as
but-
your history.
It's not, but if it's what I gotta do, it's what I gotta do.
I'm gonna have you make me a charisma history check.
Okay. That is gonna be 2, so that'll be a 3. Oh, that is a 21 total.
All right. One of your favorite things of the different types of language of the Crofters you've studied, a lot of their written word just never made very much sense to you. It's still quite foreign. But when you heard them sing, it's almost like I happen to be able to learn language much faster in song format. I could still remember some German from high school and stuff in songs. It's more natural to you, especially as a song, not a songbird, but a bird. And you do caw out a fairly lovely Crofter's melody, a gentle song. And it does seem to reduce the wailing of the child, watching this little bird sing to her. Very touching scene. And that brings us to Elazar.
Elazar has been overcome with fear at being so near to a Crofter since the last time. But he struggles to overcome it. He crawls up into the wagon and cautiously, tenderly, and with great care, approaches the face of the now calmed child. And he whispers,
This gift was given to me, not one of yours. I only pray that you might, hopefully, take some nourishment from it. Earth Mother, the Crofters above, please save us with what power you might have in your infancy.
and he pulls back his mask, revealing his mutilated face, and kisses the baby on his forehead. I'm going to use a wisdom religion save or check to try to call to whatever powers have cursed me.
Let's see it.
That is a 17 plus 5.
Hell yeah.
22, you say? 9. Nice. As you pull away, it seems as though the child has fallen asleep almost instantly, finally exhausted from its torment, comforted by the rocking of the wagon and the soft furs below it. And those of you looking at this see as Elazar pulls away a horrible decayed face, riddled with leprosy, eaten away, teeth showing through cheek, barely the remnants of ears left behind. Not much more than a skull. But when Elazar pulls away, you think you maybe see some of the flesh around the tip of his nose look a little more vital. And with that, ironically, the group, your total added together is 69. Nice.
Oh, nice!
Wouldn't have it any other way. You make it out of the dangerous center of the woods, past the domain of fog, and out of the tallest and oldest of the trees. Things seem to get a little more quiet, and there is a road ahead of you to get back to the farm as you gather your thoughts, cautiously toting this wagon through the dangerous woods as the baby sleeps.
I have failed.
No. Nothing close. They are alive. They are well.
Not in that. in my purpose. I was spared so that I might bring the peace of the Crofters. I tended their graves in peace. I lived in peace. And at the slightest temptation, here I am again, a monster.
Sometimes, when the seed of death has been planted, by no matter which gardener nor tender, new life can grow from it. New chances, a new thing to nourish the folk around it. I don't see you as monstrous.
He turns to look at him, his blood-red eye and milky white one latching onto him with rage behind it.
You know nothing of monstrosity.
So it might seem. But perhaps I could know this. Why is it that they called you the kin feaster?
I was believed stillborn, thrown into the feeding trough. I crawled from the muck and slayed my youngest brother for my place at the teat. And I came of age. My father tried to kill me for bedding my sisters. But it did not end me. I came for him in the night and slew him. I roasted him on the fire and devoured his flesh. I dwelt with the mongrels. I was the killer on the Silt Walk. I laid waste and horror to the people. And it wasn't until a little red bitch stabbed me through the gut and left me bleeding in the reeds. I crawled for days, refusing to end, and when I found myself in a rat trap, I knew it was over. And that's when the Crofters blessed me. I saw its angelic face looming over me, and it pulled free the snap. I felt my body mend, and then nothing. When I woke, my flesh was corrupted. And I devoted myself to the Crofters to serve their will, as thanks for my third chance at life. I am a monster. And it is only by the virtue of the Crofters and a particularly enterprising mouse that I was felled.
Striking. Complex. A monster, perhaps. But if nothing else, a monster that repays his debts. Your devotion has brought a future to the farmlands and to Undermile. As difficult as your path may have been to walk, it was one that has forever protected how we live and has fulfilled what clearly was the will of the first crofter.
Time will tell, of course.
And there can be no mistake in Elazar's description of the champion that ended his tyrant reign over the mongrels and the Siltwalk. Surely he too had his encounter with Jamina Bisquick in her prime.
Anna is going to, at that moment, kind of walk over to Elazar and just give him a great big hug.
You should not touch me, young mouse. You have comported yourself with honor, your combat prowess, perhaps not nearing your predecessor, but I can see it developing. Do not sully yourself with my flesh.
You're just gonna keep pushing people away.
Better that than spread my corruption.
Right.
You've been very kind for as long as I've known you, Elazar. Quick to forgive, slow to take up arms. I'm sorry that you didn't have a grandmother.
Perhaps I might have been different. But I will do what I can to aid you in your quest. But when I arrive at the cellar, I think I may well offer myself in service, so that perhaps I might do good without the temptation to do evil.
Dragging
Thank
the
you.
wagon. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was my window.
No, that's it.
Dragging the wagon behind you, exhausted and wounded from your battle. You see the light of the morning sun ahead. An opening in the endless trees. The trail you took to get here. The path back to the farmland. Your group emerges from the trees to see the full expanse on the farm stretching before you. The faded red of the towering barn, the waving green and golden fields, the crofter's castle, the murky pond, even the edge of the orchard. But the gate is open, and a figure blocks your path. Not just any figure, but a crofter. Staring at the edge of the woods, his chin is caked in a rough beard of both coal and ash. His dark blue armaments rustle in the gentle morning breeze. His eyes are tired, his hair unkempt, and resting on his shoulder, aimed at the group, is the crofter's greatest tool of destruction, the bellows. A double-barreled shotgun that has taken the lives of beasts of all sizes, the nightmare of children, the damnation of the faithful. His finger shakes on the trigger, but he moves his head away from the sight, narrowing his gaze. He looks from the 4 animals to the wagon, to the baby, and back to the animals. He takes aim again, finger shaking, terrified and exhausted. Far out in the fields, a warmth seems to spread through the earth. Something that reaches deeper than the rays of the sun. Something that warms the open expanse below the farm, and all who dwell within it. A bright green bud emerges from the soft soil, and sprouts tiny leaves that reach skyward, like hands in desperate prayer. It's going to be a hot summer, and it'll be hard for everyone on the farm. But hard work makes for the best harvest, and the Earth Queen waits for no one as she dons the face of a new season, preparing for new life and familiar death that comes with change. And that is the end of the chapter 1 through 4 of Undermile.
Ooh.
It's wonderful, Law.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Way to photo finish, by the way, group. God damn.
Oh.
That was...
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we were on the fucking ropes. That was intense.
Real quick, Elazar. After credits scene, could you give me a couple medicine rolls to remove these quills? I forgot about them.
We'll say the magic of the strawberry just pushed them from your body.
Haha. Can't believe we had like a group fruit salad right after the big fight. Shit.
Yeah.
And so, while I was delivering that line, I cut it short because I suddenly thought this is going to be too comedic of a delivery for this moment.
Uh-huh.
But like what popped into my head was, I'm sorry you didn't have a grandmother to teach you not to eat your siblings.
Yeah, might have been a little too goofy for the scene.
Yeah, it's way too goofy.
Well, yeah, I think you all did fucking fantastically. I had a lot of fun, and these are the kind of fights, like, when I did LUQ, I don't know, I pulled my punches a lot because we were still kind of testing the waters of how everything worked, but in my normal games that I run, I usually have people kind of on the ropes and hit points, and really scraping by, going down, having to get back up, so I'm glad to kind of return to that in my natural habitat. If this had been on a grid, I would have been absolutely thriving.
Yeah.
Theater of the mind, it's fine. I like it.
What was everyone at pre-healing?
Negative 13 out of
Okay, so
a potential negative 17.
Well, the
You were knocked
Corvids-
out.
The
Elazar
Corvids
was
have
at one.
basically the half orc ability to be like when you drop to 0, you can once per day like stay at 1 basically
Yeah.
because they're
with my second wind, I was at 7 at the end of the fight, but I was at 2 before I used that.
savage.
Good
I was
God.
at 5.
Shit, that chip
And then I was at
damage.
3 before Zach healed me.
I gotta say, man, like the way of Mercy Monk is pretty fucking nasty. I love
They're
it.
so good.
There's very little
They're
mercy
so-
involved.
It's one of my favorite monks.
Yeah,
they're super
it's
cool.
very fun.
I love the flavor of juggling, healing, and damaging necrotic stuff. It's very neat.
I think it helps that I got the stigmata and I'm like literally like healing people with blood and pus.
Eating ass and taking names.
Yeah. Sorry to play such a disgusting fucking character, everybody.
No,
Look,
so
you
good.
Fight like a rat. Go for the bungus.
Someone had to fucking do it.
Any
Someone had to go for the bottom.
any questions from the audience? We've got about 10 minutes just to kind of unwind and process the story that has been told here. And yeah,
Yeah, a little Q&A.
Hell yeah.
of course
Also,
we have a
thanks
good
for-
minute delay, so
Thanks for hanging out fucking as everything was going on. Viewers, watchers, and friends.
Thank you for letting me very much DM hog with my personal backstory stuff. I felt like there were so many like yeah, I felt like there were so many like hints at it. I'm like we gotta get it out before the end.
You gotta drop it. And then like there was even a moment where there wasn't a moment for it, but I was thinking of being like, maybe he's called Kin Feast because his like kin ate his face. That poor rat.
or he just really liked to make grilled cheese for his family. In the update on the donation page, we are up to 1480, as we have just had a donation
Yes.
from Jason Heim and another one from Jacob Beckstead at 70 and 80.
You're all so fucking awesome.
It's funny because I had no idea when we set this up. I was like talking to Hazel from Hazel's house, and I was like, I don't know what to make. I'm going to let you handle this. Just put in whatever goal you think makes sense because we're just going to do the best we can. And I was like, I'm guessing we're going to do at most, like if it goes really well, 1,500. And we're like at exactly a 1,500. So
That is perfect.
That's
That's
amazing.
a great estimate. I would have guessed like a few hundred.
Is this the first charity stream that LUQ has done?
we've done
Slapdash,
some
yeah.
donation stuff, but yeah, as far as a
Slapdash.
stream to raise money, this is absolutely our flagship or test run.
Fuck it, you guys
And it's
knocked it out of the park. Good lord.
Which just
We-
goes to
also
show
one
the
of
the,
cuties.
We
The cuties are the best.
listen.
one of
didn't
the
set
rare
any of this.
side stories too from Slapdash.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yep.
fucking yeah.
I love
You'll
me a
love
good
to see it.
4-part side chapter.
Max and I need to stop having exactly the same ideas. when we were first making characters, there was so much overlap in our character concepts at first, so we both had to like kind of go opposite directions. And then I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. I know exactly what to do for the skill challenge. And Max is just like, swoop.
Uh,
I am.
I think it worked well
bird.
together though.
Yeah,
I think
and
so too. I think so too.
If it hadn't made
Alternate
sense
char-
for him, I could have said something, but it did genuinely made sense for his character to
Yeah.
go for that. So
mm-hmm. Alternate characters that you thought about playing is always a great Q&A question.
I was thinking about making a weasel warlock who was like a cowboy gunslinger. But with Eldritch Blast instead of guns.
It's so
That's really
much.
good.
It's so much.
I knew I was going to be like one of the smallest animals, and so for me it was either a mouse, a robin, or a spider.
Oh, spider was so tempting.
And you really sold me on your vision for a spider. I believe it was you, Max.
The other big
this-
character. Oh,
Oh, go ahead, dude.
Like just sort of like a spider as like an informant for Undermile. What's going on in Undermile?
Mhm.
Well, thank you.
my alternate was going to be a Corvid Sky Knight, who was going to use like lances and stuff like that to like drive at people and just like constantly like wheel charging. It was going to be the coolest.
I love that.
Oh, other donation and goal bonuses. That's a good question, Wolf. But Angela, do you have any extra characters you were gonna have in your back pocket for this one?
I actually was struggling to decide on a character because some of the races, the animals you came up with, were very, I would say, class specific. So they fit like really well, and so like the badgers just kind of made sense for barbarian. Some of them just really fit in there, like a fun archetype. So I was always just looking for like, what's a spicy thing? Like, what would be like the one little thing? So while I thought of a whole bunch of things that I could have done, none of them were never ever met that bar. And then I was like, okay, so if I did barbarian, what would be cool? Spike arm? Oh, sweet. Animal caught up in a barbed wire. So
Love
really,
that.
only one character ever really exceeded the hurdle to get into the contention, and I'm glad you said yes to it.
Oh, absolutely. It was a great concept. Yeah, some of the other donation goals were there was like a magic item that they could have found if the setting had been right when the donation was hit. But they were going to get the strawberries. They were going to find a lucky rabbit's foot. If we had had time, there would have been a scene where they would have rescued a deer that was tangled. His antlers were tangled in a low branch. And he might have helped them at the end, maybe like in escaping the forest or something. But we just used what we had time for in the setting that made the most sense. But I'd say those advantages and those strawberries really made a difference at the end there.
Yeah.
The strawberries were great. Like, just what just popped in my head is like for a really big donation, just like you guys collectively get just one full-size gun.
all of
One
you get a
bullet.
revolver that you have to somehow manipulate as 4.
It's like,
like
do
a
what you will with
Voltron.
it.
Did you all like the closing scene?
Beautiful.
I love
It
Very
was
that.
exciting.
lovely.
I saw it in my head and I was like, I really feel like this is how I want to end this story.
I love the line of the Earth Mother preparing to wear, what was it, the face of a new season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. That was fucking awesome.
I just like not
Part of-
having the story written in stone. Like whatever happens is still unknown, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted like it to be a hard like cliffhanger with the gun still pointed on us and the trigger shaking.
Yeah.
I would have loved to take a bullet.
So big
I mean,
question
that's what you got.
that kind of comes on the end of this is can we count on more Undermile coming down the pipeline?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I mean, and would that
Digging through
involve
the
new
dark
characters, a new era, the same characters? Like what could it be?
Maybe a little of both, even.
Oh.
Some
Like
of
it
us
really
step
just.
away.
I feel like you'd have to, like, if you're doing it again, recast the show, and like there could be returning characters. There could also be new characters. I think people would be excited.
Absolutely.
Dana's trying to
think
get
that-
rid of me.
Just get Zach out of here. Get someone on here that's not gonna eat assholes.
The entire time. Please stop eating buttholes beginning to end.
It's like it's 2022. We all eat ass.
It's just sitting there waiting. There's a reason it's called cake. Come on.
Came here to eat bungus and kick ass.
Eat ass and kick ass, and I'm all out of ass.
And there's so much ass. Yeah, that's it. I came here to kick ass and eat ass, and there's no shortage of ass.
And it's a target-rich environment.
Mhm. I love it. But yeah, if there's obviously we're gonna need to get our LUQ pants back on, but this was a really fun diversion for that for me. Just kind of like, tell a new story, clear the palette, and for me, just kind of DM again, kind of shake the cobwebs off after a really long time. And
Law, you did great.
I mean, I just
This
like
is amazing.
playing with these people at the table is like one of my favorite things is just letting them go nuts and tell me their story and then watching. So this was just as much entertainment for me as the rest of you.
This is especially impressive given that you were working with the handicap of Discord fucking phone call live stream.
I think we managed it okay. I think it's going to make an okay 4-part podcast. It's not
Mhm.
our best audio ever,
Yeah.
but they'll all be on YouTube and probably have some good replay value, I hope.
The tubes.
Zatube. But yeah, you guys did so much damage to Quillbar. It was nuts. If she hadn't been healing at the top of every turn based on how many pins she had out, then she would have been dead probably a full turn earlier.
How much did she heal per pin?
Whatever she dealt that turn, she gains an initiative 20. And if nothing
gross.
changes, it happens again.
Gross.
So it came out to about like if she rolled well, like 15 damage, 20 damage if she rolled super good or everyone failed.
Those are
Very fucking
disgusting mechanics, and I'm gonna need y'all to design some bosses for me.
I mean, I leaned heavy into her being survivable because it's 1-on-4 and she's a warlock type thing. So, but yeah,
That's what you got to do with bosses, though, and that was really well designed and really well balanced.
I was
I
sad
loved it.
that I didn't have more chances to use Spike the Mind, because it was, if you're pinned, then she could just give you a traumatic flashback, and it would have given me a chance to like narratively flow out something bad that happened to you or your character's fears and passions. But we only got one in. That's okay. I wrote it specifically to be like, I want to throw backstory into the fight.
I do like you leaning into that with the coyotes we fought beforehand with the pins that were stuck in them and shit. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, the quills. I mean, they're her wands. They all have their own magical properties.
The concept of weaponized backstory is fantastic.
That's my DMing style to a T. If I have to pick one.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Fantastic.
Good.
I'm gonna check one last time because it sounded like some people were throwing out finish line donos. 1580.
You people.
Oh,
you
we got
incredible
50 from
people.
Angelo Kalug. That's very
Angelo.
Oh, very nice.
Who is that?
20 from Jacob
I've never
Beckstead
heard of that man.
and Luis T with 30. I'm pretty sure that's Luis. Sometimes I
You're all
confuse Luis and Lewis, but either way, thank
We're
you.
gonna have to
all
thank
fucking
Sam
incredible.
Hediger by just like mailing him a dead mouse.
But we dress it up.
I love the idea of like a little piece from every character.
I do
It's
have some
fucking
in my
gross.
freezer.
If you taxidermy a
God,
mouse in like a
I-
Mouseketeer outfit,
I have mice in my freezer. I actually need to get rid of them.
Hey, Dana?
Man, the idea of getting taxidermy of these characters made is both awesome and also very depressing.
So unsettling.
yes, that's true.
What is it, Max?
Why the hell do you have mice in your freezer?
My snake passed away a few weeks ago.
I
And
didn't know
I
you
s-
had a snake.
Yeah, and I still have mice.
Before this goes off the rail with yet more depressing, disturbing, and horrifying shit, do you want to roll us out there?
Yeah. That is sad. My snake passed away not long ago either. So sad.
So
sad,
sorry,
sad.
They went to Undermile.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hanging out with us now.
Well, thank you all so much for your donations. Like, seriously, like, if this had just been us having fun playing a game, I would have been delighted, and I was the whole time. I had a really good time running this. It was very comfortable, too, because, like, my little antisocial brain getting safe in my room, getting to run a story here, and then have, like, digital assets that I can draw and throw up. This is a comfort zone for me. But getting to add the donations on top of that is, like, heart fuel, you know? It's like... It just feels really good. So thank you. And I'm going to keep thanking the cuties for weeks and weeks to come. Visit all of us on luq.com. You can see the cast bios, learn more about these wonderful people and players and the links that they want to send you. Of course, join the Discord if you happen to be lurking on Twitch and you haven't joined the Discord, which seems unlikely, but just in case. And yeah, it's all on luq.com. And until next time, we wish you rodents.